300 years ago, humanity was on the verge of extinction after a demonic invasion. When the Saints called out the four holy swords, wielders of unmatched power, they brought victory to mankind. Link, who's the only one remaining, was now facing a horde of monsters with one arm remaining. Slashing his way out, Link thought that there was no end to the monsters. All of Link's comrades who fought beside him had perished. After Link was accepted even though he had nothing, his friends gave him purpose in life. However, things took a tragic turn, where he is the only one remaining. Link was certain that they would have easily won if only the four holy swords had actually stood together. With the four great protectors of humankind not solving their internal conflicts, Link was forced to fight since everyone had died. When the monsters finally got a hold of Link, this fueled Link's anger even more, killing the monsters with one swing. Exhausted and full of injuries, Link was certain that he too would face death in a few minutes. Link knew that he would never win, and that the demons would soon swallow the whole world. However, Link still couldn't force himself to give up since he was carrying the last wish his friends had asked of him. In the world that was being torn apart by monsters, Link was determined to kill the monsters standing before him. Since Link was the only one left, the job was left to him. With determination alone to fuel his battered body, Link was fine if he died, as long as he took down the enemy in front of him. A woman called Link weak, and said that along with his friends they looked very pitiful. Finding no enjoyment in killing the four holy swords, the Demon Lord's comment angered Link. Now fueled with rage, Link swung his sword towards the Demon Lord. To Link's surprise, the Demon Lord did not deflect or evade his attack. Now with his sword piercing the Demon Lord's chest, Link asked why she didn't dodge. In a cold response, the Demon Lord told Link that there was no need for her to dodge. Sensing something, Link looked up and was horrified when he saw mountains of monsters behind the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord told Link that killing her wouldn't change anything, since the Demon Beast army had already been summoned. Once the fight was over, the demon army would then descend to the villages, wiping out every last human. Link still believed that humanity had not lost yet, and that once he was done with the Demon Lord, he would then take out the demon army. Fascinated by the fire in Link's eyes, the Demon Lord couldn't wait to see it fade into despair. After telling Link that humanity still had so much more despair to experience, the Demon Lord pushed her body towards Link, allowing the sword to pierce through her body. With Link as the fourth one, the Demon Lord asks for him to fall into despair and grieve. Once Link experiences despair, the Demon Lord tells him to come back, as she wants to see Link's broken face once more. As soon as the Demon Lord touched his face, Link woke up trying to catch his breath. Curious as to where he was, Link finds it strange, since the last he remembered is that he stabbed the Demon Lord and that he had died. However, from what Link could see, humanity hasn't been wiped out yet. Recognizing his surroundings, Link went out and saw a well, which he immediately ran to. Link was shocked as he saw his young face 10 years younger than when he died. Link was back to the age where he first set off to face the Demon Lord, back before he joined the academy. Remembering the Demon Lord's words, Link was puzzled by the Demon Lord's intentions. Link still couldn't believe that the Demon Lord sent him back to the past, just to make him suffer more. With Link traveling back to the time when he was still at the orphanage, this pissed Link off, since the Demon Lord was just toying with humanity, pleased to see a race fall into despair. Last time, the four holy swords couldn't unite their strength, which led to humanity being divided. During his time fighting alongside the four holy swords, Link never made the most of his own spirit armament. Link finally accepts that they were just outmatched by the Demon Lord's tricks and vows that he will get it right next time. To defeat the Demon Lord who's trying to wipe out humanity, Link vows to do whatever it takes. A young girl sees Link watching the well. The next day, Link had already planned out his steps of taking revenge against the Demon Lord, and the first part is getting stronger. Next in Link's plan is to find trustworthy allies, and the last part is him warning the world of the Demon Lord's return and making them believe it. In the last timelines, no one saw the Demon Lord's attack coming, which was a successful surprise attack. That was also the reason why humanity couldn't prepare adequately to fight off the demon army, and ended up losing. Now, in his second life, it gave Link a chance to warn everyone. Link was certain that in his second life, humanity could now fight back and face the demon army head-on. When Link told the other kids about the Demon Lord, they only laughed at him. Link was even told by one of the kids that he is just at the age where his imagination is running wild. Seeing Link about to be mad, the kids then tease him. Sighing, Link calms himself down, as he too admits that he couldn't show any proof of what he is saying. Remembering his past experience, Link realizes that he was no different from the Saintess who had warned them of the Demon Lord before. What was worse was that Link was one of the people who laughed at the Saintess. A girl then approached Link, asking him if what he is saying about the Demon Lord is true. Remembering the girl's name as Ivy Hedera, Link was certain that he and Ivy barely spoke in his last life. Ivy becomes excited as she believes that Link is some kind of a hero. Seeing Link train so hard, Ivy guesses that Link plans on facing the Demon Lord soon. Link responds that in 10 years the Demon Lord would attack and humanity will fall. Knowing the future, Link plans to use it to his advantage and promises himself that he would absolutely win. Hearing that, it excites Ivy, offering to help Link in defeating the Demon Lord. This shocked Link as he never expected that anyone would believe his story. Although he now has one believer, it still was difficult for Link, since after a year, Ivy would soon be killed because of her spirit armament, Fallout. Spirit armaments are supernatural powers that are said to reside within human blood, passed down through a bloodline to its most compatible member. The powers often manifest as weapons, and are one of humanity's few defenses against demon beasts. Unfortunately for Ivy, she stole from all over town, which drew the wrath of some thugs. This led to a confrontation and thus having her life taken away. Before Link could remember Fallout's power, his head was suddenly hit by a stick. A kid threw the stick, calling Link a liar. When the kid accidentally slipped and fell, this surprised Link. However, before the kid could continue falling, Ivy was able to save him. Link could tell that Ivy has used her spirit armament, Fallout, to save the kid. Fallout is an ability that lets Ivy teleport wherever her knife is. Ivy threw her knife onto the tree and teleported right after. Seeing how Ivy lectured the kid, Link thought of an idea of adding Ivy as one of his trusted allies. With Ivy's Fallout, Link was certain that it would be a huge help against the Demon Lord. Link believes that if he were to get Ivy to quit stealing and join him, Ivy may be able to change her fate and live. Ivy was shocked when Link confronted her, calling out that she was stealing. Ivy immediately turns away, avoiding eye contact with Link. Link empathizes with Ivy, understanding her actions. When Link mentioned sneaking to rich people's houses to steal food and clothes, it surprised Ivy. Seeing Ivy's reaction, Link could tell that Ivy overdid it, which is also the reason why she became a target. Link warns Ivy to not make others hate her. In exchange for quitting with her stealing habits, Link promises that he will be her comrade. Since Link was able to figure her out, Ivy decided to quit her habits. Ivy also finds it at a good timing, since she was thinking of stopping already. Aside from stealing, Ivy believes that if she hangs with Link, it would be more fun. Their new journey excites Ivy, and she believes that they would become legendary heroes in the future. Seeing Link's scary expression, Ivy calls him out for it. Since Link already knows what is going to happen in the future, Ivy suggests that they imagine a brighter future. Seeing Ivy's cheerful attitude made Link regret that he never reached out to her before. Ivy then asked Link what they needed to do first. The two then stood in front of a huge door. Link tells Ivy that they first have to enter the place. Recognizing the building, Ivy becomes worried. A man was then thrown off, which led to him calling the place a dump. Another boy came out of the building and asked Link and Ivy what they wanted. In Link's plan, he first has to train and get stronger. Next is gathering up allies over the next 10 years, building up their strength and defeating the Demon Lord. With a serious look, Link vows that he would not waste his second chance. The boy holding a sword asks Link and Ivy what they wanted, and if they came to join their dojo. Link confirms that they do, and introduces himself to the boy, which Ivy also introduced himself. The dojo that Link and Ivy visited is famous for its tough training. The dojo became prestigious for producing many royal knights in the capital. In order to fight the Demon Lord, Link plans to start his journey in that dojo, building up their strength. The boy guessed that Link and Ivy only came to the dojo to mooch off the dojo's food, which he then told the two to get lost. Getting close, the boy tells Link and Ivy that he has no time for orphans like them. The comment pissed Ivy off. Link remained calm and responded that he too does not have the time to talk to a kid, and politely asked to let them in. The dojo master, Mukuge, finally notices Link and Ivy, which he then asks the boy, whose name is Redo, who the two were. Redo informs the dojo master that two orphans were looking for free food. Redo then reassures the dojo master, who is also his father, that he is sending them packing. Link corrects Redo, telling him that they came to get stronger and asks again to let them in. Mukuge agrees to have the two take the entrance exam. Mukuge calls one of his students and tells Link and Ivy that they will be sparring with him. If the two win, they will be able to join the dojo. Underestimating the two, Redo asks his father's permission to let him face Ivy and Link. Redo believes that cocky people like Link wouldn't learn unless they get a taste of pain. Behind Link, other members of the dojo cheer him on. Ivy didn't like Redo's words and ordered Link to beat Redo up. Members of the dojo were certain that Link would lose, since Redo had never faced defeat before. With the match starting, Redo plans to make Link regret, and initiates the attack. Redo jumps forward, ready to swing his sword. Observing Redo's movement, Link could tell that Redo is not all talk and could tell how hard Redo trained to polish his movements. However, despite Redo's talented swordsmanship, Link easily parried the attack, which surprised Redo. Link then tells Redo that he has more regrets than he can count, enough for him to die for. After parrying Rito's attack, Link turns and counters, hitting Rito in the back. In Link's previous life, he trained with opponents far stronger than Rito. Mukugi then calls for the match to be over. Members of the dojo were in total shock as they did not expect for Rito to lose. Seeing the result of the sparring match, Mukugi accepted both Link and Ivy as students of the dojo. Meanwhile, Rito, who's still on the ground, was having a hard time believing that he lost to someone like Link. Unable to accept the result, Rito tells Link that they are not done yet since he hasn't gone all out yet. Rito tells himself that he could never forgive himself if he accepts his defeat. Sighing, Link tells Rito that no matter how many times they fight, the result would still be the same. Looking at Rito, Link could tell that he has a lot of pride. Out of nowhere, Link summons his spirit armament, Baldrus. After challenging Link once again, Link was in shock, as he never expected for Rito to be an armament user. With Rito summoning his spirit armament, the members of the dojo become excited. With Rito wielding the weapon Baldrus, Link finally remembers that he has seen Rito at the academy before. In Link's previous life, Rito was his classmate at the academy. Rito dropped out right away, so they barely talked, which made Link eventually forget about him. With Rito being a spirit armament user already makes him an available asset. This ignited Link's drive, and he plans to have Rito join him no matter what. Link asks Rito what his spirit armament was. However, Rito refuses to tell someone who he is about to fight about his spirit armament. Link became honest with Rito, telling him that he has to defeat the Demon Lord. In order to achieve his goal, Link is trying to gather skilled spirit armament users as his allies. With that reasoning, Link asks Rito again to show his spirit armament to him. Rito was confused as to what Link is talking about, but still insists that they fight again. Link remained calm and asked Rito why he was getting scared when he was the one who started it. Link knows that a spirit armament is different from a wooden sword. Spirit armaments are the only way to defeat magical beasts, and if one were used against a person, then they would certainly die. Rito admits that he is scared, but for the sake of what he has started, Rito could no longer back down. Despite Rito being just a kid, Link could see that Rito has a clear determination. Rito's earnestness and straightforwardness are the exact reasons why he has potential. Link was certain that Rito would become even stronger. However, Link's comment only angered Rito even more, and he asked him how he would know his future. Link shares that he has fought against spirit armament users many times, and that all were highly ranked users. Since Rito plans on using his spirit armament to defeat Link, Link plans to use that opportunity to see the power of Rito's spirit armament. Link reassures Rito that even if they fight, he won't die since he is confident in his strength. Seeing Link being all high and mighty only fuels Rito's anger. When Rito finally initiates the attack, Link was surprised at how fast he was and only managed to dodge Rito's swing. Both Rito and Ivy were also surprised. Despite barely dodging the attack, Link remained composed and told Rito that he did it on purpose. Link finally understands Rito's spirit armament, granting him speed. Knowing this, Link compliments Rito's spirit armament. Link asks Rito what he wants to do with his spirit armament. Seeing Rito's confused look, Link clarifies and asks Rito what he wanted to achieve using his spirit armament. If he wanted to join the Royal Knights or inherit the dojo. After thinking for a while, Rito tells Link that with his power, he wants to become strong enough to protect the people around him. With that reason, Rito was determined to not lose. Hearing that, Link mentioned that he needed to take care of something first. Link charges forward, catching Rito off guard. When Rito swung his spirit armament, Link easily dodged all of it. Confused, Rito wonders why his swings were not hitting. Link tells Rito that his Baldrus is a spirit armament that excels in speed, and that Rito's swings are normally impossible to dodge. However, with a human wielding a spirit armament, Link points out that humans tend to make preliminary motions. A single shift in Rito's gaze, the slightest tremors in his limbs, Link could tell right away where Rito was going to swing. Observing all of it, Link was able to create an opening. Link took advantage and hit Rito, which led to him dropping. Standing in front of Rito, Link claims his win. The members of the dojo were in shock, seeing Rito lose again. Furious, Rito asks why he lost. Link pointed out that Rito's movements were easy to read, especially when he's hot-headed. Hearing that, Rito still couldn't believe that he lost even after wielding his spirit armament. Using the spirit armament to his advantage, Link gave Rito some tips where he can make his weapon reappear from directions to strike. Since Rito's goal was to protect the people he cares about, Link suggests that he learn more about how to wield Baldrus. Link pointed out to Rito that there are endless possibilities while using a spirit armament. Staring at his spirit armament, Rito apologizes for chasing Link and Ivy off, and could tell that he is about the same age as Link. However, Link tells him that he is already living a different future, which confuses Rito. After their small talk, Link claims that they are now best friends. Link plans on teaching Rito how to control Baldrus, which would help Rito in protecting his people. In exchange for guiding Rito, Link asks for his help in taking down the Demon Lord. Trying to keep up with what Link is talking about, Rito eventually agrees, since Link was starting to get physically close to him. Laughing, Ivy mentions how Link could be pretty calculating and that he'd do anything to defeat the Demon Lord. Link found another ally and a new environment to train himself. Link's second life was going smoothly. However, unbeknownst to Link, there's someone who he would soon meet and may change things up. A year after Link and Ivy joined the dojo, their progress was steadily inclining, as Link had once again won another match. Members of the dojo couldn't help but admire Link's strength. Link turns and witnesses the fight between Ivy and Rito. Sneaking behind Rito, Link puts his arm around Rito's neck, praising his best friend and asking him if he was thirsty or if he wanted food. This act only annoyed Rito further, calling Link creepy. Rito then mentioned that the first time Link came to the dojo, he didn't even notice him. However, Link reassures Rito that he has been looking out for him since he is an important part to defeat the Demon Lord. Seeing how engrossed Link is in wanting to defeat the Demon Lord, Ivy was certain that Link would even offer himself up without hesitation to someone that could one-shot the Demon Lord with their spirit armament. Link responded that he would certainly do so, which surprised Rito and asked Link if he didn't have a spirit armament, he wouldn't care about him. Link was silent for a moment before telling Rito that he's right. Link's response annoyed Rito and ended up flinging Link's arm off of him. Confused, Link asks Ivy why Rito got upset. Ivy tells Link that it was his fault for being too blunt. Ivy made Link understand by telling him that no girl would be happy if someone had told her that they only wanted her body. Confused, Link clarifies that Rito is a guy. Frustrated, Ivy responds that it is not what she meant. Before Ivy could continue explaining, a woman called Ivy's name, which she immediately turned her back to Link and left, not finishing their conversation. Walking around, Link was thinking that both Ivy and Rito have more talent than he had thought. By next year, Link was certain that the two would be ready to head to the Royal Capital's Academy. However, the problem Link is currently facing was none other than himself. Sometimes Link feels like he's not on the same page as everyone. Even in Link's previous life, he often rubbed people the wrong way. Besides his worries, there was still something that he hadn't told his friends, and that is his spirit armament. Link was not even certain if revealing his spirit armament would be a great idea. If his spirit armament would be revealed and the condition for it to be activated, Link wonders how the others would react. Out of nowhere, a man approached Link and introduced himself as Astella, asking for Ivy Hedera. Link becomes suspicious since no one came looking for Ivy or him in the past year. Even the Rife's orphanage doesn't bother chasing those who leave the orphanage. Coincidentally, Ivy arrives, calling Link and telling him that Mukugi was calling him. When both Astella and Ivy finally saw each other, Astella asks for Ivy's identity, which she introduces herself as the person Astella is looking for. When Astella found the person he was searching for, he let out an intense aura which made Link pose a defensive stance. Link asks Ivy if Astella is an acquaintance of hers, to which Ivy responded that she does not know him. When Link tells Ivy to stay behind him, Astella immediately notices that Link has a good intuition. Link heard that Ivy, who was completely off guard, was killed by thugs in her previous life. However, it was wrong. Link strongly believes that the person who killed Ivy was none other than Astella. Astella asks if they know why he came. Not liking to deal with children, but Astella couldn't do anything about it since it was part of the job. Dealing with thugs would have been far easier for Link. However, from what he could tell by Astella's aura, he is certain that Astella is incredibly skilled. Despite receiving training for a year, Link knows that they can't beat Astella. Rito then finally notices Astella and asks Link who the guy was. Finding it troublesome if a crowd suddenly gathers, Astella gave a condition and asked both Link and Ivy to meet him at the town plaza at midnight later. Astella also mentioned that they can bring those who do not mind dying. After telling Link that they would only have a little chat, Link agrees, which Astella left after. Astella stops and tells Link that if he tries to help Ivy escape, it wouldn't matter since he is more persistent than he looks. After Astella leaves, Link then explains to Rito the situation and how Astella is after Ivy. Although Link still does not know the reason, he still agrees to duel Astella later. Not wanting to endanger her friends, Ivy offers to go alone. Since she is the target, Ivy plans to try talking her way out. Ivy too was curious as to why Astella was after her. Rito points out to Ivy that they still do not know if Astella is a person that they can reason with, and her plans may end up killing herself. Ivy shrugs it off, telling Rito that he worries too much, reassuring them that she is good at running away. Both Rito and Ivy were shocked when Link stated that Ivy is certainly going to die. Link shares to the two that he came from the future destroyed by the Demon Lord, and around this time, Ivy's body was found in an alley. Back then, Ivy habitually used her spirit armament to steal. Back then, Link was told that Ivy got on the wrong side of some thugs and ended up getting killed. Ivy finally understands why Link asked for her to stop stealing using her spirit armament, and also helped her train so that she could fight back if she ever were to be attacked. Link realized his mistake and was certain that Astella is the one who had killed Ivy before. and probably made it look like some thugs did it. Hearing this frightened both Redo and Ivy. Link admits that Astella is incredibly skilled and was certain that if the three of them combined their strengths, they would still not win against him. Hearing that, Redo was shocked and asked Link what they were going to do. No matter what angle Link looks at their situation, the odds were just against them. For the sake of his comrades who have died, Link can't have himself dying there. However, Link also has to help Ivy as he finds her spirit armament very useful. After making such a promise to Ivy, Link can't help but force himself to not let fate do its thing to Ivy. Since he is going to risk his life, Link wanted to confirm something first. Ivy was shocked when Link asked her if she wanted to live. When Link heard the story of Ivy getting killed, something bothered him. Ivy's fallout allows her to teleport to where she throws an object's location. Just like what Ivy mentioned, she should have been able to escape even if attacked. Even with such a skill, Ivy was still killed. This made Link wonder if Ivy did not try to escape and try to live. Rito was confused with what Link was saying. However, Ivy already understands what Link is implying and admits that she is okay with dying. Being an orphan with no family and even looking down on her spirit armament, calling it plain compared to Rito, Ivy believes that such circumstances didn't really give her much option to enjoy her life. During the past year, Ivy witnessed how Link tries to achieve his goal and does everything that he can to go for it. Ivy tells Link that he cannot die for her and asks for him to just abandon her. Before Ivy could finish talking, Link interrupts her and tells Ivy how he wanted for her to live. When Ivy asked why, Link responded that she's already part of his plan to defeat the Demon Lord. If Ivy were to die now, his calculations will fall apart. Hearing all this, Redo didn't expect that Link would say such a thing at a time like this. Link approaches Ivy, telling her that he needed her power. Ivy chuckles, telling Link how he really knows how to change other people's minds. With a more determined look, Ivy turns to Link, asking for his help, and promises that she will be useful in defeating the Demon Lord. Pleased by Ivy's answer, Link agrees in saving her. Seeing the two getting all chummy, Redo becomes annoyed at them for making him all nervous. When Redo and Link are finally alone, Link asks Redo if he has anything to say at all. Redo could see that Link is truly serious. Although Redo was not sure about the Demon Lord that Link is talking about, he still chooses to believe in him. However, facing their current problem, Redo asks Link how he plans in defeating Astella. Link turns serious and shares with the two about his spirit armament. When it was finally time for their scheduled meetup, Astella did not expect for the kids to truly show up. Astella states that needless killing isn't his style. Link confronts Astella, asking him why he is after Ivy, and if Ivy's spirit armament is truly his target. When Astella responded that he didn't have the right to ask the reason, Redo got more confused. Astella explained that once they become an adult by doing things that they hate, it would wear down their pure heart. Despite giving them advice, Astella was confident that those who are present would not even reach adulthood. As Link and Rito prepare themselves, a knife is suddenly thrown at Astella. After dodging the knife, Ivy appears behind Astella and tries to land a sneak attack. However, Astella easily caught Ivy's knife. Finally seeing the infamous fallout, Astella mentions how Ivy has been quite mischievous around town. Drawing his sword, Astella was about to stab Ivy when another knife was thrown at him. Although Astella managed to dodge the knife, Link took the opportunity and teleported behind Astella. This act caught Astella by surprise, and he sees that Link is holding Ivy's spirit armament. Although Astella was caught by surprise, he still managed to dodge Link's surprise attack. With his attack not hitting, Link throws the knife towards Ivy and teleports by her side. Astella did not expect that there would be two people with the same spirit armament. Reading Astella's mind, Link guessed that Astella may think that he and Ivy have the same spirit armament. However, that is not the case. Link's spirit armament is called White Note. It has the power to copy the abilities of others. However, activating White Note comes with conditions, and that they must first have strong feelings about Link. Talking about feelings, if Link is trying to copy a woman's ability, then the woman must have strong enough feelings towards him to the point that they want to embrace Link. Another way of conveying feelings is also entrusting their life to Link in battle. If Link gets close to someone, he can use their spirit armament as his own. Picking up his sword, Astella was reminded of how he truly hates spirit armament users. Both Link and Ivy encouraged themselves and reminded each other of the plan they made. The two then threw the knives at Astella. However, Astella was not impressed and told the two that they are acting just like kids. As long as Astella blocks the knives, Ivy and Link will be wide open. To Astella's surprise, both knives bumped into each other, stopping their momentum. Astella thought that the two missed, but Link used it to his advantage, teleporting to where the knives were. Grabbing the two knives, Link then threw the other one, which Astella easily dodged. When Link threw the second one, Astella parried it. Link then gave Ivy the signal and Ivy teleported to the first knife that was thrown. Ivy swings the knife but still misses. Both Link and Ivy then threw the knives they were holding towards Astella. However, the attack was easily parried and dodged by Astella. Link then picks up the knife and continues to fight up close. As the blades clashed, Astella tells Link that if he could only lock blades with Link, he would win. Link then asks Astella if he still remembers who owns the spirit armament. Behind Astella, Ivy threw her knife towards him. Before the knife could land, Link teleports towards it and stabs Astella in the shoulder. Astella finally understands what Link and Ivy are doing. A hit-and-run tactic. The tactic is most effective when using the spirit armament fallout. Looking at Ivy, Link thought how it would be regrettable if he were to die in such a place. Observing the fight, Redo couldn't believe how Link and Ivy could still smile in their current situation. Despite having an opening to attack Astella's back, Redo was unable to do so, as the pressure was not allowing him. Astella did not expect that Link would actually land a blow on him, and he then asked if Link and Ivy have known each other for a while now. When Link responded that he has known Ivy for about a year, Astella laughed and mentioned how the growth of children is truly a wonderful thing. Observing Astella, Link could tell that Astella isn't serious in fighting them at all. Since facing the two proves to be more difficult, Astella decides to resort to a cowardly tactic. Astella then changed direction and ran towards Redo. In Redo's mind, he knows that he has to run, however the overwhelming pressure is not letting him move his body. Redo then remembers the promise he made with someone, to use his spirit armament to protect the people he loves. When Redo finally regained his senses, he thought of protecting both Link and Ivy. Despite his legs shivering, Redo forces himself to move. Putting pressure on his feet, Redo finally was able to say something, giving Link the signal. Unbeknownst to Astella, Link changed the spirit armament he borrowed and was now wielding Baldrus. With the axe right at Astella's neck, Astella was very certain that Link's spirit armament was a knife. Link confirms that it was, but just for a moment. Expressing his dissatisfaction towards spirit users, Astella states how a normal person like him could never catch up to those who wield spirit armaments no matter how hard they try. When Link tries to strike a deal, Astella already knows what Link wanted, and that is to let go of Ivy. Astella realized that Link used Redo to set up a deadlock. Link knows that even if they kill Astella, another assassin would just be sent to come after them. Link wanted to bargain with Astella. In exchange for sparing his life, Astella would report to his employer that he had completed the task. After reminding Astella of how he disliked killing children, Astella was forced to accept Link's conditions. Drawing his sword, Astella couldn't believe that a kid at Link's age would actually see through him. Astella reveals how he plans on not using his blade and killing Ivy since it goes against his principles. After the fight ended, Link realized that with Astella's skills, he would have been famous for his martial prowess. Link could see that Astella is a human from the official side, similar to a knight or an imperial guard. Link guesses that the employer that hired Astella must be someone powerful enough to give him orders and didn't go through shady companies. Link deduces the possibility that a person with high status or even a child may have given the order. When Link calls for Ivy's name, Ivy immediately cuts her hair short and gives it to Astella. Accepting the terms, Astella tells the three that moving forward, the person named Ivy has perished from their world, and that they will never meet each other again. Link stated that he has never heard of the name Astella before, which he assumes was just a fake name. Astella responds and tells Link that it was truly his real name. Now returning to the capital, Astella tells Link that he does not see their meeting as a waste, and hopes that they would meet again. Telling Link how he is a good kid, Astella tells him how he would love for them to see each other again. When Link mentions how Ivy is now supposedly dead, Ivy suddenly cries, which surprises Link. Ivy was very grateful towards Link and glad that she trusted him. Rito also expresses how glad he was in entrusting his life to Link. When Rito was told to be bait, he was frustrated. However, Rito later realized that Link was correct, as Rito couldn't even move a muscle when facing Astella. Rito vows to never become pathetic again and reassures Link that he will be fighting alongside him next time, with Link growing stronger the closer he gets to people. However, it didn't mean that all of his efforts to make the people around him like him are fake. What really frightens Link is the people's reaction when they notice his self-motivation to make his spirit armament stronger. 3 cheers, as Ivy stated that they are now the new party, Hero Party. Link believes that he will now be alright since in his second life he gained 2 friends who wield spirit armaments. Next year, the 3 will travel to the academy in the capital, which is where the 4 holy swords are. Link vows to live selfishly and use any means he can to defeat the Demon Lord. Rito calls Link, telling him that the capital is huge. Link asks Rito to calm down, as he was starting to act like a little kid. Link first called Ivy's name, but then corrected himself and called her May, as they'd agreed on changing Ivy's identity. Link notices how May looked pretty calm. May responded that she's supposed to be dead, and to make it look more convincing, May had to dye her hair. May pointed out that getting excited by everything would draw more attention, thus resulting in her cover being blown. Link was not convinced by what May said, and even thought that May would be wagging her tail like crazy if she were a dog. Link and the others then visited the academy, where they were welcomed by a woman who helped them in completing their paperwork. Link and Redo entered the academy and were astonished at how magnificent it looked. The children from all over the country with spirit armaments come and enroll in the academy. Children learn how to use their powers, which Redo and Link would spend 2 years in the academy honing. The academy would also be the place where Link would find allies to fight against the Demon Lord. Entering the room, Redo was pleased to have a pretty nice room. Link already expected nothing less, since spirit armaments are important to a country's military and would clearly be treated well. May appeared and also had the same thoughts as Redo, and mentioned that the room looked pretty. Redo was shocked and asked May how she got inside. Link then pulls out May's dagger, which made Redo realize that Ivy had Link hold her spirit armament and planned to use it to teleport into their room. Ivy was then asked if she was planning to stay in their room. May responds that she is, since the inn costs money. Ivy also suggested that they can share a bed. Ivy turns red just thinking about her and Link snuggling together. Link tells Ivy that she can either use his bed or Redo's, and that Redo and he would just share a bed together. Imagining Redo and Link sleeping together, Ivy immediately becomes annoyed and refuses for it to happen. Ivy grabs Link's arm, telling Link that she wants to sleep with him. Sighing, Redo asks everyone what they will do for now. Link orders Ivy to gather information from the city. Link wanted to check whether everything's the same as it was in his previous life. Raising her hand, Ivy follows Link's orders. As for Redo and Link, they will search for potential allies. The heirs to the 4 holy swords and the princess are all at the academy. Ideally, Link liked to recruit all of the 4 holy swords and gain the princess's favor. Redo understands the plan and asks Link which one they go after first. Link responds that they must think of an unusual way to gain favor, as he is certain that the normal way wouldn't work on the people that they will be recruiting. Link and Redo were now mingling with the others at their welcome party. The 4 holy swords inherit powerful spirit armaments. If Link and Redo can recruit the 4 holy swords, neither the Demon Lord nor Magic Beast would stand a chance against them. But in Link's previous life, the 4 holy swords acted all independently. Link and everyone else failed to protect the capital from being overrun by monsters, which led to the world falling into ruins. Seline Arendite acts like the perfect honor student, but Link knows that she's morally bankrupt. Scabiosa Excalibur is a lone wolf and a murderer and has already killed several people close to her. Primula Ascalon only respects rank and status. Since all of them are commoners, Primula won't hold everyone in high regard. Hearing all of this, Redo thought how everyone sounded crazy and was shocked to learn that those were the selected people to save humanity. Link can't even imagine getting along with each and every one of them. However, there's still one who Link believes that they can approach. When Redo mentioned if Link is talking about the last one, Link tells Redo that he found the last one. Link interacts with someone, introducing himself and Redo. Pleased to meet Link, the person who's sitting down introduces himself as Pomegranate Durandal. In Link's last life, Durandal joined his party to face the Demon Lord. Durandal is the man who took in a nobody like Link and saved his life. Durandal asks if there are any problems. Regaining his senses, Link becomes embarrassed and tells Durandal that there are no problems while unconsciously stepping back. When Link accidentally bumped into someone, he immediately apologized. However, the woman did not give any response and remained silent. Seeing this, Redo thought that the woman acted quite cold, and even pointed out how the woman's hair is messy. To Redo's surprise, he didn't expect the woman to be the princess, as Link told him that the woman is Princess Mary. Link also shared that Princess Mary had another nickname, which was the Princess of Adultery because of how she was born. Seline called everyone's attention and stated that, as spirit armament wielders who are serving their country, they shouldn't worry about background or status, and just live a life worth remembering. Redo asks Link if the person who just spoke was Seline. Redo knows that Seline is a noble, but he couldn't ignore the vibe Seline is giving, which is a rich young lady vibe. Redo would have never guessed how Seline's morals would be messed up. Link tells Redo that Seline's attitude is not really a secret, which is also one of the reasons why she's so troublesome. Seline then told everyone that she came up with something fun for them to do, and stated how she would naturally receive permission from the academy. For spirit armament users, Seline points out that they do not communicate through words but fists. Everyone immediately thought that Seline was hinting at a battle. Seline asks for everyone to be open-minded and clarify that they will just be going to play a little game of tag. Seline also clarified that the game they are about to play is no ordinary child's play, since it is also a way for them to learn about each other's moves. Hearing this, some of the students came aboard, as it sounded fun. Seline told everyone that she will be handing out handkerchiefs and asked them to tie it to their clothes. The goal is to steal each other's handkerchiefs. The one who gathers the most handkerchiefs in the allotted time would win. Seline mentioned that they must not use their spirit armaments, as it may result in catastrophe. like the building they are on collapsing. As Seline mentioned that everyone can only use their body to gather the handkerchiefs, Scabiosa commented that it sounded boring and left. Princess Mary also didn't want to participate and left. Seeing so many students wanting to join the fun made Seline very happy. Seline informs the participants that they can go anywhere inside the building and that the game will start the moment she blows the whistle. After blowing the whistle again, it would be the end of the game. Seline reminded everyone to not try anything dangerous. The game caught Redo's attention as he too finds it fun. Redo tells Link that he will beat him before leaving. Link also saw Durandal, muttering how he is very bad at that kind of game. As Link slowly starts his pace, he then begins his move. Seeing everyone all scattered to the hallway, Seline then blows the whistle to give the signal that the game is now starting. Hearing the whistle, all of the students start going after each other, taking each other's handkerchiefs. Link does not know how the silly game ends. However, Link only has one goal, and that is to persuade a certain someone to shift to a future that is filled with death, even if just a little. Link teleports behind Seline. Noticing Link, Seline asks what the problem was. Link was surprised that Seline would even remember a nobody like him. Seline asks Link if he had used his spirit armament, pointing out that he has violated the rule. Seline then asks Link if he does not like the game she came up with, or if Link wanted to talk to her. Link responds and tells Seline that there's something he needed to tell her. Link tells Seline that she needed to change her way of thinking and that she is no hero. Seline didn't quite understand what Link was trying to say. Link clarifies that Seline can still become a hero if she corrects herself and could possibly be even greater than all, and that everyone would rely on her. However, Seline's way of thinking is a problem. Link mutters Seline's name, wanting to confirm if she wanted to die. Link clarifies that Seline just didn't want to die but wanted to die a heroic death while protecting something important that people will remember for generations. Link is certain that Seline would do such a thing even if it meant sacrificing anyone or anything. When Link asks Seline if he was wrong, Seline doesn't respond and just stares at Link. Seline has a condition called self-destruction syndrome, an issue that made Seline's morals go astray. Aside from all of it, Seline was also one of Link's lovers. For Seline, spirit armaments represent power. Through the armaments, kings have ruled their kingdoms. Spirit armament users represent justice itself, and their authority is absolute. While practicing her swordsmanship, Seline forces herself to believe that she must be perfect. However, Seline couldn't get the image of Link out of her head. What angered Seline most was when Link told her that she is not perfect. The next day after the welcome party, Redo was quite disappointed and told Link that he let him down. Redo never expected Link to be beaten by Seline in tag without even trying. Link thought about how he should probably hold off on telling Redo what happened with Seline. In the end, Link couldn't get through to Seline during the party. If things stay like they are, a lot of people are going to die because of Seline. Durandal is still amazed with Redo since he got the second highest number of handkerchiefs, right after Primula of the 4 Holy Swords. Redo responds, telling Durandal that he is also one of the 4 Holy Swords. Hearing this, Durandal could only laugh. The instructor entered the room and told everyone that it was now time for them to draw lots for their training groupings for the upcoming practical exercise. As spirit armament users who protect the kingdom, the instructor told the students that, in order for them to grow stronger, they must first know their enemy. For the class's first practical exercise, they will be going to the demon forest to observe the monsters there. Rita was shocked as he thought that going to such a dangerous place was too soon. Durandal, on the other hand, was already scared just by thinking about the monsters. Link remained silent and observed the slots. When it was Seline's turn to draw the slot, she reveals that she is in Group A. The students who drew Group A immediately felt safe upon learning that Seline is now part of their group. Other students were now wondering if they could get into Seline's group. Redo stands up as it was now his turn to draw from the box. However, Link held Redo's shoulder and told him that he would go first. Being truthful, Link isn't sure up until now. Link thought of just drawing his lot after Redo like he did in his previous life. Unlike Ivy's situation, Seline most probably won't change her mind just from words. Link thought that the path he is currently on is not the fastest route to defeat the Demon Lord. However, Link also believes that even though he is doing things differently, it does not guarantee a better future. But Link still needed to do something before defeating the Demon Lord. The following week, Group A was now at the Demon Forest entrance. A student named Rai Exakum is pissed, since their first training is just observation. What angered Rai more is that Link is a part of their team. Rai warns Link, telling him that he better not get in the way of Seline. Looking away, Link tells Rai that it's all up to Seline. Not pleased by the attitude Link is showing, Rai points it out and asks Link what his deal was. Rai then asks Link if he's trying to pick a fight with Seline just to get her attention. Another student named Lefabilia asked for Rai and Link to stop and reminded them that they are currently in a forest that is filled with monsters. Lef hopes that everyone will get along and not fight with each other. Seline approaches Link, stating how they've only known each other once for about a week. From what Seline observed, Link is one of the most skilled students in their class. Extending her hand out, Seline hopes to learn a lot from Link during their exercise. Link didn't shake Seline's hand and told her that he didn't have anything to learn from her. Hearing this, Rai tries to start another argument with Link, when Seline stops her and tells Rai that she will be having a word with Link. Moving to a more private setting, Seline asks Link if the topic of their conversation would be the talk that they had the other day. Link responds that it is, and reminds Seline that she will be chosen to become a hero, the perfect hero that Seline had always wanted to be. After being told by Link that he is not interested in her perfection, Seline responds that as long as Link had that type of mindset, Seline won't have anything more to say to Link. Seline also pointed out that Link does not know the first thing about her, and suggests that Link stop pretending like he knew her. When Link tells Seline of the possibility that he knows about her family, images immediately run through Seline's mind: people being murdered. Pissed off, Seline asks Link how he could possibly know about her family. Seline warns Link that if he insults her further, she would never forgive him. Link stops and asks Seline if he had made her mad. Link then starts teasing Seline, telling her how she is much cuter when she's angry. Link also pointed out how it could no longer be helped if he actually knew, revealing the fact that Seline has a mole on her back. Shocked, Seline's face turned red and asked Link who he actually was. Link moves in closer and asks Seline to listen up. Link sternly reminded Seline that today's task is to only observe monsters and that they do not need her reckless bravery. If Seline steps out of line, Link warns her that he might just grant Seline's wish right there. Surprised at first, Seline then calms and tells Link that she will take his word for it. Returning to their group, Link and Seline were asked if they are now finished with their little chat. Astella appears and introduces himself to everyone. Astella was dispatched from the knightly order to serve as the group's supervisor and guard. Astella's duty is to convey the threat of monsters to the students, who are deemed to be the future defenders of their nation, and to also safely bring everyone back to the academy. Smiling to everyone, Astella vows to see that through. Meanwhile, Link couldn't believe that he would meet Astella so soon. Astella turns to Link and tells him how pleased he is to have Link join them. Link couldn't believe that he would be meeting Astella in the Forest of Monsters out of all places. Astella apologizes and tells Link how he resembled a friend of his. Astella also finds relief in being in a group where he does not have to walk on eggshells. Link starts thinking about what Astella had said, specifically about someone who he has to walk on eggshells around. Link later realizes that somewhere in the academy, but outside the group, is Astella's employer, the one who ordered the killing of Ivy. Link calms himself and believes that Astella's friend wouldn't mind. Astella also hoped that Link was right. Astella suggests that they talk as they walk. Astella revealed the truth and told the students that they still haven't fully unraveled the mystery of what monsters are. As to where the monsters came from and why they only inhabit the forest is a bliss to the kingdom. However, there's one thing that they know for sure, and that is the fact that the monsters are a threat to humanity. The duty of knights like Astella is to protect the peace of the kingdom. For those monsters that would cause harm where humans reside, Astella and the other knights would strike first to protect the people, which is an honor they take seriously. Link thought that if someone like Astella tried to kill the very citizens he meant to protect, he thought that it would be a good reason to lay down Astella's sword. Out of nowhere, a monster appeared and was growling at Astella and the students. Astella then mentioned that there's a monster in front of them. As the monster charged right at Astella, he drew his sword and swiftly cut the monster's head off. Astella explains that a monster's vital points are no different than a normal animal's. Astella was surprised when Seline suddenly approached him and asked if she could take the next one. Astella agrees, as he believes that it would also serve as a mock training exercise. Seeing Seline wanting to face a monster, Link realizes that it is still happening after all. As Astella told Seline that she can face the monster, Seline asks that Astella be extremely careful with them. Seline stretches her hand out, summoning her spirit armament. The holy sword Arendite is a double-edged sword that is dyed jet black. As beautiful as the night, the spirit armament is also as terrifying as the abyss. Seline suggests that they now head out, eager to slaughter everyone's last monster that threatens the lives of their people. Link already knew of the tragedy that was about to happen. If Link does not stop Seline, both Rai and Lef would die. Link was left with no other option but to stop Seline no matter what, even if it meant that Link had to kill Seline Arendite. Astella asks for Seline to stop. Smiling at Astella, Seline asked if there was something wrong. Seline's spirit armament was now dripping with blood, and she is surrounded by monster corpses. Astella informs Seline that from there on, they will be entering the deeper forest and highly advises that they return. Confused, Seline asks Astella why. Entering the deeper forest is dangerous, and Astella's duty is to protect their group. Seline reminded Astella that they are spirit armament users, and that they cannot fear death when they are faced with monsters that threaten their people. With a menacing look, Seline believes that they must fight for the sake of their people. Link was strongly against Seline, reminding her that Astella is their supervisor and that they must follow his orders in turning back. Seline asks Link if he too has been struck by a gust of cowardice as well, pointing out that Link was just talking big. Link asks Seline if she can kill hundreds of magical beasts that lie ahead. Seline clarifies that it doesn't matter whether she can do it or not, as she is still determined to do it regardless. Link asks Seline if she still remembers what he had said to her before they entered the forest. Seline asks Link if he was referring to his joke. Link realizes that the situation was much worse than he had thought. Seline has become so corrupted that she has reached the point of no return. Seline calls Lef and Rai, reminding them of the reason why they became spirit armament users, and that is to save people. Seline then forces the idea that killing a single monster in the forest is the same as saving a person. As the future heroes of humanity, Seline believes that they should take the first step right now. Moved by Seline's words, both Lef and Rai were easily persuaded and believed Seline would never do something wrong. As Seline was about to hold the hands of Lef and Rai, Link stopped her first and told Seline to shut up, calling her a murderer. As Seline's eyes looked soulless, Link was really hoping that Seline would change, but guessed that it was impossible now. Link then called Lef and Rai, telling the two that they will die in the forest. The two girls become worried, asking Link what he is talking about. Link told the two that if they keep going ahead, they'll walk right into a monster's nest. Lef and Rai will be bitten, torn apart, and crushed until they're unrecognizable and would eventually die. Link tells the two to stop listening to Seline, or they would meet death. Link turns his attention to Seline, telling her that she will slaughter a group of monsters and eventually become a hero. However, that only causes Seline to charge right into the monster's nest. Because of Seline's reckless behavior, she will end up sacrificing Lef and Rai. Seline laughs, asking Link if he had a bad dream or something. Seline observed the others and noticed that both Lef and Rai were now afraid, while Astella remained silent. Seline asks everyone if they are really going to believe the delusions of Link over her. Seline didn't wait for their response and decided to move forward all by herself. Link asks Astella to take Lef and Rai and go back. Astella asks Link if he really plans to go after Seline all by himself. Link had no choice as he made a promise. If Seline will not change, then Link is left with no other choice but to take her life. Summoning his spirit armament, Link charges towards Seline, engaging in a fight. Blocking Link's attack, Seline reminds Link that killing another spirit armament user is a grave crime. However, Link no longer cares about the consequences, as he is certain that if he lets Seline be, dozens of people will die. After Seline becomes a hero by slaughtering countless monsters, she will rack up an impressive war record. At the same time, the people who follow her won't be able to keep up with Seline's recklessness and end up dying. Seline would have no one left by her side. Seline believes that she is justice itself, and that she is absolute, which is the reason why people follow her. Since Link is standing in her way, Seline has now painted Link as someone evil that she needs to get rid of. Astella had enough and told Lef and Rai that they are now heading back. The two refused to follow Astella as they were worried that Link would actually kill Seline. Astella tells the two that his best friend is the kind of person who'd risk his life to meddle in other people's business. Astella is certain that Link won't do anything terrible to Seline. Astella then clarifies that he wasn't talking about Link. Rai tells Link that they better come back in one piece. Listening to Astella, Link wondered as to when they'd become best friends. Both Link and Seline were now surrounded by monsters. Seline tells Link to look at their surroundings, pointing out that their guests have arrived. With Link and Seline starting defending themselves, Link stated that just because a certain someone wouldn't listen to him, they ended up in such a mess. Seline responds, stating that she never expected for things to escalate as she was just trying to kill the monsters. After decapitating the monsters' heads, Link tells Seline that somewhere deep inside her, she knows it herself that she is in the wrong. With a face smeared with monster blood, Seline responds that she is not wrong. Link tells Seline that there's one thing he has to tell her before they fight, and that is a message from her future self. Seline's first step in the forest as a hero. The future Seline said that it would have been better if she had died before it. After Seline dodged his knife, Link teleports from behind and switches his spirit armament. As Link was about to land an attack, Seline mutters, "Heavenbreaker." Link was shocked as he got suddenly blown away. Seline thought that Link's spirit armament looked similar to Raido's. Seline realized that Link's true ability is to mimic other spirit armament, deeming it as a half-baked ability, fitting for Link. Link remembers that one of Seline's abilities is Heavenbreaker, a skill that unleashes a shockwave around the user. Ever since Seline met Link, she points out how Link has been speaking as if he knew her, which irritated her. As Link charges forward again, clashing with Seline's weapon. To protect herself, Seline was about to use Heavenbreaker again when Link suddenly switches his weapon and throws the knife past Seline. Link was able to dodge Seline's Heavenbreaker. Turning around, Link switches to Raido's weapon and successfully lands an attack on Seline. Realizing that she had been injured, this pissed Seline off. Link teases Seline, calling her a hero and asking if she was already out of breath. In response, Seline tells Link that his attack is quite pathetic. Link knew that the wound he inflicted was shallow. Link was hoping to at least injure Seline's hand enough that she couldn't use Arendite anymore. Seline tells Link that what she holds is a holy sword and that she will use the holy sword to cut down evil. Link was confused when he saw the weapon Arendite vanish. To Link's surprise, the weapon teleported onto his hand. After activating Heavenbreaker again, Link was yet again blown away, as the shockwave now came from the weapon. Seline asks Link why the sword is called a holy sword instead of a mere spirit armament. Heavenbreaker generates a shockwave around the sword, and Heaven Leaving temporarily transfers ownership of the sword to the opponent. Seline mentioned how simple it was, as she was bestowed with a power entirely different from a spirit armament. Link then remembers that Arendite has a ridiculous combination that allows the user to force a bomb onto their enemy and detonate it. Standing in front of Link, Seline tells Link that if he insists on getting in her way, then she is left with no choice but to take his life. Before Seline's weapon reaches Link, she stops and clarifies that she will not take Link's life. Seline does not care whatever Link says, as she just reminds him to not interfere with her any further, stating that she still has her pride to uphold as one of the 4 holy swords. Link asks Seline what pride she is talking about, telling her that it is just a curse. Link asks for Seline to hurriedly throw away the worthless holy sword. Seline stops, turning to Link and telling him that he is really looking for his death. Link responds, telling Seline that he is unlike her, someone who's not looking forward to dying. Link states that he still has a goal worth staking his life on, and that is all he is doing. Calling Seline, Link tells her that just because she couldn't bring herself to die back then, does not mean that she only has to think about dying. When Link mentioned that none of Seline's family would want that, especially her siblings who would never want something like that for her, Seline tells Link that she will not ask for more details, as she realizes that Link seemed to already know about her past. Just as Link had been saying, Seline admits that she is just someone who failed to die. Seline just happened to survive among her more talented older siblings. For Seline, she is mediocre with no future. As Seline's father was nearing death, he had already accepted his fate and told his children that one of them would likely inherit his Arendite. The man then ordered that the children kill each other, and the survivor will become the head of the house and the successor of the Arendite. Seline was born as the youngest daughter of the Arendite family, one of the 4 holy swords. Seline's older brothers and sisters were kind and got along with the other siblings. Seline cherished her siblings with all her heart. In a twist of events, the current head of the Arendite household informs his children that they are going to fight amongst themselves to the death. The survivor shall become the head of the family and the successor to his holy sword, Arendite. Hearing this, the children were horrified. As the head of the Arendite household, Seline's father has a duty to ensure eternal prosperity. The man vows that he will prevent their bloodline from ending at the hands of some fool chosen by a spirit armament. Seline's older sibling asked for their father to wait and points out that they are all exceptionally talented, and that it shouldn't matter which one of them is chosen by the holy sword. The father agrees, as he also pointed out that he has raised his children to be exceptionally talented, preparing them for the day of the succession. The older sibling asked for their father to reconsider his decision, stating that they are siblings and are prepared to support whomever is chosen. Another sibling of Seline decides to intervene, telling the oldest that he could only say such a thing since he looked more qualified. The boy pointed out that as things stand, Arendite would likely choose the oldest, since he is the most talented of all the siblings. The boy then mentioned that those who do not possess spirit armaments must continue living miserably. With anger in his eyes, the boy states that to lose the contest for succession means that they will be living the rest of their life as a loser. With the condition of succeeding as the head of the household, the boy tells his other siblings that their father has given them a chance to win. Seline was overwhelmed with fear as she saw her brother's face turning into something that she had never seen before. The father then told his children that if they refuse to follow his orders, then they can end their lives right now. Inheriting a spirit armament also meant bearing the responsibility of protecting the country and the world. Responsibility that cannot be simply passed on to someone, since it is something that cannot be wielded with such weak resolve. While the kids divert their eyes at each other, realizing their cold reality, Seline was shocked when she saw her own brother stab her older sister. The whole room was immediately filled with screams. Seeing her sister's body on the floor, Seline regained control of her body and ran away. While Seline cowers in the corner of the room, her other siblings are now trying to stop their brother, who had become mad, driven by the lust of becoming the head of the household. After taking the life of her very own sister, the boy claims that he will become the head of the family and would eventually wield the holy sword, Arendite. Hearing the screams behind her, Seline could no longer think rationally. Also hearing footsteps coming towards her, Seline closes her eyes as she thought that she was about to die. Seline's oldest sibling tells her that it is now okay, and that she can now look up. Turning around, Seline was horrified to see that her other siblings had already faced death. The oldest turned to their father and asked Seline to wait for him. Raising the sword against their father, Seline's oldest sibling tells their father that he is wrong. Before the boy could swing the sword, his father had already decapitated his head, stating that his mistakes must be corrected. After telling his son that he is a fool, the head of the house then turns to Seline, realizing that Seline is the only one left. The head of the house tells Seline that the strongest ones are those who forsake love, family, and friendship for the sword, which he then asks Seline if she has that resolve. After witnessing such a gruesome scene and being confronted by her father, as a child Seline wanted to cry. But more than that, Seline did not want to die. Seline's frightened look slowly changed to a grin, telling her father that she has the resolve that is required to wield Arendite. And so, Seline became the successor to Arendite. Unable to defy her family's customs and trapped in a room filled with her siblings' corpses, Seline hated herself so much that she wanted to die because all she could ever do was just smile. Since Seline was the only one left alive from the Arendite family, she plans to honor her siblings' deaths by becoming an exceptional person. If Seline can't prove that she is more talented than her siblings, then her being the one who survived would have meant nothing. Listening to Seline, Link finally understands why Seline wanted to become a hero and die after. Seline tells Link that he may be right, that in the future she might get others involved and kill them. Unfortunately for Seline, she cannot stop, as she has no other choice but to keep moving forward in her siblings' stead. Link understands Seline, and guesses that he too also has no choice but to kill her. Gaining enough resolve to take each other's lives, Link asks Seline that they not show each other any mercy. As Seline casts her Heavenbreaker, she is shocked when Link suddenly tackles her. Before Seline could say anything further, the shockwave from the Arendite had already activated and destroyed the surrounding area. With Link's successful tackle, he was able to spare himself from the destructive damage that came from Heavenbreaker. As the two slowly stood up, Seline praised Link for his cleverness and told him that she is truly disgusted by him. Link smiles and tells Seline that he gets that a lot. Link reminds Seline again that he would do whatever it takes to achieve his goal. Seline asks Link what he would possibly gain by going so far. Link does not have the need or the time for their fight, as he too has to carry on his comrade's will and defeat the Demon Lord. However, Link too has made a promise to his future self that he can't leave Seline be. Link tells Seline that no matter how the world praises her as a hero and follows her, in his eyes, she will never be a hero. After listening to Link, Seline tells him that she does not understand what future and Demon Lord Link is talking about. However, what moved Seline is that no one has ever spoken to her in such a way before. Just as Link suspected, Seline admits that she had already gone mad ever since the day of the succession, losing her mind on the day her siblings died. Seline pointed out how Link had understood her, and that he would kill her. Showing now a more soft expression, Seline tells Link that if he can truly kill her, then she would like that. Link's eyes widened as he could finally see it. Everything was to create the situation, meeting the conditions for his ability. To Seline's surprise, Link was now wielding Arendite. As Link activated Heavenbreaker, Seline couldn't react in time and ended up being slammed into a tree. With enough strength to crawl, Seline asks Link why. Link responds that he was just granting Seline's wishes. Link's Spirit Armament activation condition is to draw out intense emotions from his opponent. With the knowledge of the future and his words, Link knew that the only thing that could move Seline's heart was pure killing intent. Link remembers his past life where he lies with Seline. After sacrificing many things just to become a hero, Seline tells Link that if she ever has the chance to go back to the past, Seline hopes that Link would take her life. With Link now standing in front of her, Seline asks if she was now going to die. Link responds, telling Seline that he is going to kill her. Now at death's door, Seline starts asking what it meant to die. Seline's existence will disappear and she would only remain in people's memories. As Seline thought that it must be it, she suddenly became filled with fear, refusing to meet death. Claiming Arendite as her sword, Seline states that her life was given by her siblings and that she has not done anything with her second life yet. Seline only ever wanted everyone in heaven to tell her that she did a good job. Link tells Seline that it is enough and that the dead shouldn't overthink things. Raising the sword upwards, Link advises Seline to just focus on herself. After swinging the sword, blood was splattered all around, hitting the nearby flowers. Link's action marked the defeat of Seline. With Seline on his back, Link hurriedly looks for a way out while trying to avoid monsters that are near them. Using all of his might, Link states how he does not want to die in the forest. Monsters start showing up and chase Link after. Link got annoyed at how heavy Seline is, wanting to ask her why she had to grow so big. As the monsters were about to lunge at Link, they were immediately killed off. Fortunately for Link, Redo came right on time and saved him. Redo tells Link that he could have gotten away easily if he were on his own. Redo asks Link why he won't ditch Seline. Link was very pleased after seeing Redo. Looking at Seline, Link tells Redo that Seline is still useful to him, and that it is his policy that he would use whatever he can. Redo accepts Link's answer and tells him to not dare let go of Seline as they will open a path for him. Link turns and is very pleased to see Astella and Durandal behind him. Redo states that the wimpy monster observation field trip just didn't cut it out for him and finds the situation they are currently in is just perfect for him. Durandal approaches Link and tells him that Redo bolted the second Astella told him that Link was in danger. Link was very grateful for their help as they actually saved him from near death. Astella tells Link that based on the look on his face, it seemed to her that Link has achieved his very objective. Not wanting to give out the details, Link just told Astella more or less. Hearing Link's response, Astella smiled brightly and told Link that it's wonderful. However, Astella then points out that both Link and Seline are bleeding heavily. Astella highly advised them to get back and have their wounds treated right away. Durandal then sensed the incoming monsters, giving everyone a warning that the monsters were now coming. Protecting the injured, Redo and Astella swiftly took care of the monsters. Leading the path, Durandal calls for Link's attention, telling him to follow his way. Behind Durandal is another monster that was about to pounce on him. However, Durandal easily defeated the monster. Seeing this, Link was very impressed and thought that he wouldn't expect anything less from a member of the Four Holy Swords. As Link continues to follow Durandal's lead, he finally sees both Lef and Rai at a distance. With their faces painted with worried expressions, Rai stated that Link and Seline have finally returned. Seeing Seline in a terrible state, the two asked Link what had happened. Link was actually surprised, as he never expected for Lef and Rai to come back for Seline. Staring at Seline, Link just had to give it up for Seline as she seemed to be really loved. Link then explains to the two that they were attacked by monsters. However, the two didn't easily believe Link's words as they could clearly see that the injury was caused by a sword. When Rai suddenly puts her hand out, Link looks confused. Rai offers to carry Seline as she can't bear to see Seline being treated so roughly. Rai also pointed out to Link that he has reached his limit as well. Link tells Rai that she is a good person before leaving Seline to her. After Rai carried Seline, Link observed and thought how Rai seemed to be the one who's being rough on Seline. Astella told everyone that they have to hurry up and leave the forest immediately. Link agrees and summons his weapon, stating that they will make sure that all of them will get back safely, giving everyone that they've got. Meanwhile, Seline, who's still unconscious, felt like sinking deeper. To make up for his siblings, Seline tried to be more worthy of the Holy Sword than anyone, trying to be exceptional. On the day Seline's siblings died, the real Seline was just a coward who's trembling in fear. After that, Seline wanted to die, wanted someone to kill her. But as Seline was about to finally receive her wish, she suddenly begged for her life to be spared. Seline suddenly heard a voice telling her that she is so pathetic. Turning around, Seline saw herself. In the end, Seline tells herself that she is running away from her siblings' death, from the burden of the Holy Sword, from everything. Seline's other self felt disgusted seeing how her other self, who failed in becoming a hero, even dared to wish to live more. Seline's horrified look vanished after remembering Link's advice that she change her way of thinking, and that she is not her. Seline refuses to follow Link's advice, stating that she could not change since it is the only way she knew how to live. When Seline mentioned that she has no reason to live, she once again remembered Link's words of having no choice but to kill her. Thinking about Link, Seline felt that Link may be the one that could end it all for her. However, Seline wonders if the real her would die along with it. Seline thought of Link's words about how the dead should only worry about themselves. This made Seline ask herself, what can a dead person ever do? Seline finally woke up and saw Lef beside her. With Seline now awake, Lef immediately went out to look for a doctor. Seline looked rather confused, asking herself why she is still alive. Seline tried to sit upwards, but suddenly felt a sharp pain in her chest. Seline was shocked after seeing a huge wound on her chest. This made Seline ask herself if that is how a hero is reduced to. Seline then suddenly starts laughing, after all the time Seline spent playing her and thought she was broken so easily. When Seline finally broke down, all that came out from her was the foolish Seline from the day who could do nothing but cower in fear. Seline remembers Link's words, vowing that in his presence, Seline will never be a hero. Laughing, Seline states that the person named Unveiling Arendite is now dead. Back at the academy, Link bows his head to Redo and Durandal, thanking the two again for helping them and making it out safely. Redo asks Link to stop thanking them again, as he is making it awkward. In Link's past life, he never had friends at the academy who would rush to help him in a pinch. Link then tells Redo that it is an important matter to him, calling Redo his best friend. Responding to Link, Redo says, Yeah. Durandal wonders if Seline will come back as she was badly injured. In records, Seline was wounded in a monster attack. It's been ruled as Astella's fault for going too deep into the forest. If anyone finds out that Link was the one who cut Seline down, a member of the Four Holy Swords, Link is certain that things wouldn't end well for him. Link thought that he now actually owed Astella one for taking the fall instead of him. Durandal then starts teasing Link, asking him if he was worried about Seline. Seeing Link's confused look, Durandal stated that he heard of a rumor where Link keeps picking fights with Seline just to get her attention. Link was mortified, wondering how things turned into that. Their conversation was interrupted when the three were told that they looked like they were having a lively chat. When Link turns, he sees a fully recovered Seline behind him. With Seline now up and walking, the others asked if she was now feeling better. Redo didn't expect that Seline would truly appear while they were talking about her. Redo asked Seline if she had recovered. Link remained silent and wished that Seline wouldn't come any closer as she is drawing more attention. Rai reminds Seline that her wounds aren't healed yet, advising her that she must rest. However, Seline refuses to do so, asking Rai to step aside. Seline then stated that she has business with Link. Nervous, Link told Seline that she seemed to be doing well. Link believes that Seline would have a lot of things on her mind and stated that he won't make any excuses. Seline's silence made it awkward for Link, making him wonder why she is staying silent. And what made Link more curious is Seline's face turning red. When Seline moved much closer, Link stepped back and told her to not be so mad. Link asks Seline what she wants him to do, as he would do anything. Hearing Link say anything, Seline let out a scream which confuses Link, wondering what is going on with her. Seline first calls Link Master Link, but then changes to Lord Link. Out of nowhere, Seline confesses her feelings, hoping that Link would pledge his future with her. Hearing the sudden confession, Link was both surprised and confused. That is the end of the recap at Chapter 9. Please read the pinned comment about the next part.